Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 here in the pristine, untouched wilderness of the Calmlands. Just going to take that one. Okay, I was going to just take that one and drop it in, but that's not really worked so well. Why can't I get into the... Oh! You can't get into there, you can't go up to the tractor and just press E and get in, because I've left that one on loading mode. You can do it by, like, tabbing to the next machine, which just happened to be this one right here, so that bit worked. But, yeah, if you leave it on loading mode, and that was a thing in FS19 as well, if you had a tractor that was using auto-load, there was the same issue in that one, so it's not a new thing. So what I'm going to do here is, I think it's high time that we unload it and then tried loading it up again. Let's see how well this does. I think we've picked up all the bales. There may be that one at the back there that doesn't load properly, possibly the one underneath the trailer as well. Yeah, the one underneath the trailer was the one that caused us the problem. So I'm going to just turn that off a second, and I'm going to come over here. Try this once more. And this is where we want to be careful again. We do want to do the whole going very, very careful and slowly with it. How many bales have we got? We've got 74 at the moment. So we have got... we've gotten to the halfway point in the field. There's only like a few more that we can put on this trailer. I'm not so concerned about that. I just want to make sure that we've got enough bales cleared off the field so that our man down there can go on and start doing his job, or her job. And it's probably going to be Senleia that's doing that, so that'll be Senleia, that'll be her job. Our woman down there is going to do that work. Yeah, right, I'm just going to turn that one off a second. I'm going to go down here. Now, I'm going to unfold this. First of all, we will do a little bit of this manually, because there is just not enough room to be turning round. Not down here. So I do want to start this off manually here. Drop that into the ground right there. And then I'm going to come on up to about that point right there. I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to just cut out that piece. And I'm also going to come over here and try and do a little bit more. So we might be able to then start doing some turning around. So I'll drop you into the ground, put you up there, and bring you here. I'm smashing into the fence constantly, but I don't really care about that at the moment. All I want to be able to do is have this one here and see whether or not it's going to be able to do this. Like, is it going to go and hit that fence or not? Because it's only got this far to turn. Now, if it can do it, if we can go and do the tidy up afterwards, that would be absolutely brilliant. I would really, really like to be able to do that. So I want to drop you in here and then just go with the hired help. Okay, the hired help is working. He's gotten to there. And that might be because it's a short run. Or it might be just because the hired help is really, really dumb as a chimp and doesn't realize that it's a fence. Now, sometimes I have noticed that any kind of front weight on a tractor, the hired help just can't cope with it. It does not seem to be able to compute the issue of having a front weight on the tractor. And it will go until the tyre touches something and then stop. If the setting on this particular mod is in such a way that the front weight or even the tyres, like if the hired help thinks the front of the tractor is nearer where the axle is rather than the front, it'll just keep going. It will be trying to drive because that's where the front of the tractor is, and that's how it runs its calculations. So sometimes it's very easy to have that mistake. And he's got to here. Okay, so now he's stopped and he's turned around. So he's got this He's alright on the angled bit. We're okay on that bit. It's whether or not it's going to do the same on the other side. How is it going to cope with that bit? So he's going to drop down there because that's where he turned around. And we don't mind that bit. It's what he's going to do over here. And this side is the bit that's the problem. So the hired help is not seeing where that finishes. And he's going to say he's blocked by an object every single time because he's just difficult. So what we're going to need to do, I think we might get away with a single pass on this. But just in case we don't, I'm going to do a pass up the field here and then back down again. You are allowed to change gear. No one's going to complain to you if you change gear. Why does it do this? See? Change gear and you're going to do 13k. I don't know why it refuses to change gear. I mean, yes, you do have the manual gearbox option that we can use, but I'm far too lazy to go and do something like that. Right? That is just not something that I want to do. I cannot be bothered with it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do manually changing gears. I'm much too lazy for that. I just want to be able to sit here and let the computer decide when it changes gears. But I want the computer to decide to change gears properly, instead of being lazy and not doing it right. Okay? I won't stand for this laziness. It's intolerable. I mean, yes. Admittedly, I'm choosing to be lazy myself, but that's different. I'm not a computer. Okay? I'm allowed to be. I'm not a computer. The computer is not allowed to be lazy. It has not achieved self-awareness just yet, so it cannot express to me a desire to be lazy, because I won't let it. Right, you are going to drop down there, and away we go. All the way down the hill. Nice and easy. Slowly does it. Gently does it. 14k all the way. The repair state of the cultivator is not actually too bad. And I'm hoping that by coming out this far now, the cultivator, the hired help will now be able to turn around on the edge of the field down here, because apparently, stopping in front of the fence and turning around then is just too much for it to cope with. And we're being unreasonable in our expectations of having our workers stop before they hit the fence and actually turn the vehicle round. I'm obviously an unreasonable employer, expecting my workers to do things like that. I'm being deeply unfair to them, and I shouldn't do such things. Okay, I'm just going to leave them go there. And we're going to drive you on over here. And then we're going to do another pass across the field. So I'm going to spin around here. Gently does it. Come up to there and... Right. I'm turning the thing on and off each time, because I'm hoping that we don't get a whole load of bales flop off. Actually, I haven't turned it on and off there. I want to see what it does now. Just going across the field like this. I suspect we're going to lose most of this load soon. See those back bales? They moved a lot then. Yeah, they're slow. Okay, I've stopped it for a minute. I'm going to stop the trailer now to pick these two up. Right. This ain't working as well as we hoped, so what I'll do is if I run over here, I can... Yeah, actually, I want to just drop them down over there, and I can't take those off. I don't actually want to. I'll just chuck these bales over there, like that. And... also going to go up here. I'm going to grab these. Chuck them back. Trust me, in real life, you wouldn't be chucking them this far. Alright, if you were actually carrying them this kind of distance, you would just go and get the Yeah, you would walk the distance. You wouldn't do anything different. You definitely wouldn't be trying to sling them halfway across the field. That's a lot of work. It's much less effort to... And it's not about being lazy, by the way. When you're moving thousands of bales in a day, expending a lot of energy on a single bale is just not a sensible idea at all. You really don't want to do that. It's just going to end up making life very, very difficult for you. So if I do that, we're going to have bales go absolutely everywhere. So then if I try to load them again, I've got bales absolutely everywhere and badly loaded. I shouldn't have dumped them there where I did, because now look what he's done. He's dropped them here like this. I should have done them on the lower side. Those are just going to cause problems. So if I chuck the bales over there, and that one, put them there. Now I go this way. And drive up there. Actually, I think we might be better if... no, not driving uphill. I want to be facing downhill. If I face downhill to do this, but straight downhill, I think that's going to be the better way of doing it. And I also want to have those bales on the floor on that side. Like that. It's not... Yeah, that's close enough. Right, if I do that, and then I dump these bales over this side like this, and then I press load, those bales right up against the side of the trailer there. Oh, now they might. Yeah, they've moved back again. It might actually pick those up and load them. It's done all of those. And that's 90 bales. Right, we've loaded. We've actually got our full load of bales on here. 90 bales on there. I'm not sure if it would have been better if those back bales had been the other way around, but I know that they've been difficult. Now, do I want to save the straw for the pigs? This is the other big thing, is do I actually want to save this straw, or do I just want to take it over and sell it? We got 90. There's going to be some more. I think we'll sell this first load. We'll take this straight over, we'll sell this, and then the second load, we will take that back to the farm. Because you don't get a vast amount of money for it. There's some money that we will get, but I think I'd rather just have some money out of it, and then the remaining bales that are left over, we will turn those into manure later on, which will be going through our greenhouses. And I don't think we're going to need more than just that one lot, because next year we've got a cornfield down the bottom. That one's going to be turned into... That's going to be oats growing in there. So there's the round field. The square field is going to be corn. This one up here that had oats is going to be barley. So we're going to have 2 fields next year that will have bales of straw in them. So there's 2 fields that we're going to be getting ourselves some more straw from. So the half load, I think, is going to be more than enough for the pigs to start with, because we'll be building those pigs up, and we're not going to be even starting that until the middle of winter, which means that the numbers we've got for everything, we don't need any more than half trailer load of straw. That's my theory. So I bring you in here. Now with these, what you do is you just bring them in, and all you need to do is take the straps off, and then it sells. So we do that. I said about 1,000 for 40 bales. We've got 90, so we're just over 2,000 we should get for this load. Straps off. Sell everything. 3,445. Nice. More than I thought. It's actually a lot more than I thought. 3,500 euros we got. I mean, time's gone by. How much should we? It was still 38. We had 63,000 litres, and I reckoned it on 28,000 litres. Huh. My maths must have been off. But I don't think it was. I don't seem to be very good at math. Either I'm missing something somewhere, or I'm just not been very good at my mathematics. for the last few episodes. I seem to have made quite a lot of rookie mistakes with my mathematics, my calculations. Anyway, never mind that. We are going to go herring off down here because we are going to need to try and stop that cultivator from attempting to cultivate up bales because he's getting across the field pretty quickly. Look at that. See? He's already made it up over here. Now, I'm going to bring you out there, and now you're going to spin in round tight like this. And where are the bales? There's 2 bales there. That's the first 2 that we want to pick up. So I'll go whizzing down here. Now, to start with, bales will be pretty easy to pick up. We don't need to worry about them. And I can spin on up round here. Now we just slowly does it, work our way up across here. And a single layer of bales on the trailer is not so bad. And even the second layer of bales is not so bad. It's when you start to get more layers on top of that. So what we might do with working across the slope of the field here is we'll just go until the bales start falling off the trailer. And then we'll bring them up. Now he's blocked by an object because he's got to the straight edge of the field. Let's turn off the bale loading, and I'll go here to you, because now you're being an idiot. And so I've got to spell out for you that you don't need to drive into the fence. Apparently there's a little bit too much for you to cope with, this concept of not having to drive into the fence. So, and also the computer is unable to select a gear if I started off, and apparently I'm also unable to drive, so I'm also driving into the fence, which is pretty poor, really, considering the complaining I've just done about the hired help driving into the fence. I'm not having a good day today. All these mistakes I've been making with mathematics and now driving into the fence in a way that would make even a hired help blush. I mean, that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Like, if your driving skills are so bad that you would even make the hired help in Farming Simulator blush with embarrassment, you know you've done something wrong. Right, that is the point where you need to stop and reevaluate your life decisions. So apparently that's what I need to do. I need to take a long, hard look at myself and try to understand why I've done the things that I've done. That's a whole can of worms that I'm not going to open up here on a video. I'll tell you that much. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? And if I reverse up here like this, and I drop you down there, and off you tinkle. There you go. And then I will jump over to this one, and we will go back to loading. Gently does it. The bales on the back are already falling off. So while I really, really love this trailer, I don't like the configuration we've got for bales on this trailer. I don't like the way that they are so quick to jump off. It's not helpful. It really isn't. So I'll dump them down there, and then I'll load them back up again. Because if you've got them on the flat and you load them, it just puts it onto the trailer and leaves it there, and everything is tickety-boo. No problems. But not everything is always tickety-boo. When you do it like this, it definitely isn't tickety or boo. It is just awful. Look at this. Right, so now I'm going to drop them there. You know what? I'm going to just leave them there, and I'm going to go and get some more. This is how we're going to do it. We're just going to leave them there, and then we're going to get more. So now I'll start loading it up again. And that might be the best way to do this. You just drive around the field reasonably quickly until you've got enough on the trailer that they start tipping off by themselves. Then you stop, dump them in a heap right there, and then carry on. It's basically as though we had a sled on the back of the baler when we were doing the baling in the first place, which is something that many of us who've had something to do with, who've had something to do with farming in our lives, we've used them. We've used these bale sleds many, many times. It's not something that is unusual or anything like that. Right, I'll bring you down here. I'm turning off the auto load for a second so that I can line this up straight, and then we can go and load. Like that. Perfect. Excellent. I don't know why I didn't do that to start with. Right, I can't go down. We're not going to take a trailer load of bales down across that bit. I know I did cultivate a little bit in the gateway just here. But it's better I try and scramble across that than go right down across the cultivated field, because we're just going to sink. The trailer axles will drop down in, and that's going to end up causing some problems. How are we doing with the oats, the flour in here? Let's have a look. We have got 1,200 flour currently, and oats are down to, we've got 12,700 litres in there. We're still getting what's coming over from the greenhouse. The sorghum is building up, but we're not going to process that at the moment. I'm just going to leave that one as it is, and we'll process that a little bit later. So I can bring this down. We've got to put the straw in a shed, and I think we'll stick this in one of the machinery sheds. We've got space in there. Not the big barn where the combine is, in the other one. Because the big barn with the high side, like with the completely open sides, because we've only got a little stack of bales, the rain is just going to blow in on top of it, and it's going to end up spoiling all the bales. Whereas if we had enough bales that we could fill that barn all the way to the top, the rain would only be able to blow up against the side of the bales, and yes, you do get a little bit of wastage just from what you've lost on the sides, but it's such a minimal amount, it doesn't really matter. Like, it really ain't going to make any difference to anything. But because we've only got a small stack, we'll put it in this one, because we've got a bit of overhang on the front, so you're really not going to get very much rain blowing in the front. Most of the weather here, like, we've specifically situated this one facing like that because the weather blows from in over there. Like, that's our prevailing wind from that way. I've said so. That's why we've got the sheds facing the way we have. The prevailing wind over there, the majority of the weather is not being blown in, and that keeps these machines nice and dry. And that's why we've made that decision. See? Everything has a purpose. Everything has a reason. It may not seem like it. I may seem like I live my life somewhat haphazardly, but I really don't. I have purpose. Now, which way round was it? I think it was that control button. No, that control. There we go. Okay. It's not the left control that you would normally have. It's the other control. Actually, I'm going to keep it close to this side so that I can load them back up again. And we'll put it near the back, and then we will drop that off just like that, and that looks amazing. That looks absolutely perfect. Now I'm just going to put this trailer away, and then we'll go over and we'll check on the cultivator. We just need to sort of start thinking about tidying up the edges so that we can get the planting started with this tractor, which is very, very important. So that one can go there. And then I want to go this way, and I want to get the I want to get the planter on, and I want to get started with that, because we have got only a few hours until dark. We have to get oilseed radish planted. It is important that we get that in the ground. So I'm going to bring you over here, and this does need to be repaired, so I'm going to do that as well. I should have done that in the winter, but we kind of didn't. We had other things to deal with. So I'm going to go to you, repair. Really? 400 euros? That's expensive, man. This one's 174. We'll do a service on that one as well. Right. That's both of those done. I've got enough seed in there. We got plenty of seed. And so then if I go canola, soybean, sorghum, oilseed radish. Right, our tractor is busy turning around up here, ready to whiz back across the field. I am back doing some more recording here, and well, I've been getting a lot of feedback on what people want and what people would like to see, what people are happy with, and so on. And I've been talking about that a bit lately, and so I've done a lot of thinking. I've done a lot of careful consideration, and I think that I've made a bit of a mistake with this whole series. Well, I've made several mistakes, and I'm not shy about admitting that. I've made quite a number of mistakes doing this series, and I think mainly, though, the biggest issue that I've had, the biggest mistake that I've made is I've done that classic schoolboy error of trying to please too many people. That's, I think, where I've gone wrong. I've been attempting to keep everybody happy. And in keeping everybody happy, or trying to keep everybody happy, what I've actually done is I've created something that is mediocre at best by just about everybody's standards. And I don't like that. I've been getting a stronger and stronger feeling every time I come to do a bit more recording on this series that it's just not right. And from the feedback that and just lately, I've had some absolutely amazing criticism and feedback, and some of you have taken the time to write a nice long list of the faults and the issues you see with how things have gone. And that is absolutely brilliant. And I've taken that on board, and I've taken on board some advice from people I've had a chat with, and and all kinds of different sources of information. And essentially what we've got is a series here that is an amalgamation of me trying to please too many people at once. And that's on me. That's not on you. That's not on you telling me that you didn't like this or you didn't like that. That's what I need. I need people to tell me what is going wrong and what isn't going wrong, and then it's on me to deal with that information correctly, and clearly I haven't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much wrap this series up, and I'm hoping that this will be our final episode, and it will be on the 31st of December. Now, I am having to kind of use a crystal ball to see that one, because it is currently, for me, the middle of December, and I'm recording a whole load of stuff so that I can have a bit of a break over Christmas. So, I'm hoping that this will all work out. This could end up being a bit of a longer episode. To be honest, I don't know why I'm bothering with doing cultivation in this field still, because we're not going to be continuing on with this. I just wanted to at least finish up the rough bits in here, just to make it look tidy. What I was thinking was I would just kind of like finish up a little bit of the things that I've been doing, and we'll sell the stuff from the mill for the winter, and then we will call it quits, and I'm hoping that will sort of time to finish. And I've got some ideas for a brand new series, and I am taking on board your critiques. In particular, I am going to be completely reworking the random events. A lot of you have said you really like that idea. That will be staying. The next series, I'm not going to... I'm going to do a realistic series. We're going to play it in a realistic fashion, the same as this one, except that I'm going to start on an established farm. Not a smallish farm like this one, and I don't want to be struggling for money. We've done that. I've gone through that, and I've done that a number of times, and I've repeated it a number of times, and quite a lot of you have said, look, quite frankly, you've done this, try something fresh. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to try something fresh, and we're going to have an established farm, and there's going to be a number of people. I'm not going to be limiting myself to the number of people that can work there. I'm not going to be limiting myself to anything like that, so we don't need to be doing this planting, so we're going to go and put this one back. And instead, we're going to just run a farm. I was considering Silver Run Forest and doing a forestry type thing, but no, I've done a lot of that previously, and I don't really want Silver Run for the idea I have in mind. I'm not going to talk too much about what else I will be doing, because I kind of want it as a surprise. The first episode should be in hang on, let me consult my calendar. I am quite excited about this. I've got some ideas for it already. That would be 3, 4, the 5th of January. It would be the first episode of 2003, what would otherwise have been this series. The first episode of 2003 will end up being our brand new series. So There were a few of you that said you'd like me to stay on this map and keep doing this for a lot longer. Most of you have indicated you want something different than me staying here and continuing on with this, and that's fine. That's what you want. That's like I'm not complaining about this. A lot of this is down to my errors and my mistakes and me making poor judgment calls, and so I'm thinking, you know what, we're just going to wrap things up kind of as tidily as we can, and then we're going to move on, so we can call this a learning experience. And I know that quite a few of you have enjoyed what I've done here. It's just that there's been there's been quite a margin of room for improvement, and I haven't necessarily taken it when I should have done. So I did want to get some more pigs. I did want to build another thing up here, and this is the other reason that I do want to move on from here, because in order to be able to build the farm that I want here, it would require a very large amount of landscaping work, and with the realistic series, I kind of like to keep everything on camera if I can, showing you what's going on. The amount of landscaping that I would need to do in order to expand our farm out as much as I would want to, yeah, that would be a whole episode's worth, and I know that most of you aren't interested in seeing me do that for hours and hours, and that would... So the other option, of course, is hours and hours and hours behind the scenes. And I know there's quite a lot of you that don't like the whole, hi, welcome back. This is the last 19 hours of work that I've done. You missed it all. Let's get on with the next bit. And yeah, it feels disjointed. It kind of like messes up your viewing experience as well. And I know there's quite a lot of you that just don't like that. So I'm not going to do that either. So what do we want to do? Well, I've got... We got a bit planted there. I'm not going to bother with the planting over there. I'm going to leave... No, actually, that's weeds. That's not planted. It is planted. That's the corn growing there. I'm going to leave the corn. I'm not even going to bother doing that because, quite frankly, I don't have time to wrap up everything that I would want to, because of just the way things have worked out. So what we'll do is I'm going to leave the chickens until they run out of food. The pigs, we can leave those until we run out of food with the pigs. We haven't got a huge amount left anyway. And it's mostly, I want to get on towards winter and be able to sell the stuff that we've got from the mill. And we also have a bit of stuff here from the greenhouses and so on. So that can also go out. So the oats in here, I got 12,000 litres of oats at the moment. A little bit of canola and a few other things. That's being turned into flour and it's being processed. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get this pallet of eggs and I'm going to move it. Just going to move that one back out of the way. That one can go over there. The egg prices, let's go and have a look at those. November is when the egg prices really ramp up. So we can leave the eggs pretty much where they are. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we will skip the night. I want to get to December, which is when the flour prices are at their highest. I do realise that this decision might come as a bit of a contradiction to stuff that I was saying quite possibly earlier in this video or in yesterday's video. For me, it's been more than a week since I had that little chat with everybody, and so I've had time to sort of think about, and I've also had videos go up and I've had a load of feedback on them, so which is why it may seem a little bit disjointed, and also something of a bit of a surprise that suddenly, well, now I'm no longer going to be continuing on with this series. And I apologise for that, because, yeah, we don't like disjointed. We want things to continue on smoothly. Also, the other thing, I do try with the kind of the realistic series to have a story that follows on. You know, we've moved from one place to another, and we've moved to the next place, and we've got these different bits. I'm not going to bother with that. This is the conclusion of this story. The person who lives here is someone... Well, I've said that it's me and Sen, but it could be anybody. And the person who lives here They are essentially just going to continue on farming as we have seen them farming. We've had a little taster of the life that they have here, and they will continue on carving out their life here in the wilderness and making their farm bigger and slowly turning this all into one very large-scale farm. And I wish them the best of luck with it, I really do, but it's time for us to move on to something new and something different. And I am not telling you the map that I have chosen to go on to next, partly because I haven't actually chosen it yet. I've got some ideas of maps. I've got like 2 or 3 that I've got lined up that I think are going to be really cool for this, but I haven't actually picked one out yet. So that's part of the reason that I'm not telling you yet, is because I don't actually know what it's going to be. Yeah, I know. I know. So yeah. And also, I'm not going to like tell you anything else really. I've got some ideas of how it's going to be. It's going to be realistic. That's all I'm saying. Is it's going to be realistic, and I do hope that you like it. Also, I will be keeping the random events, but I am going to spend a great deal of time very carefully thinking about them and how to balance them well. There's going to be I was going to say an even number. There's going to be a balance between good events and bad events. There will be the same number of good events as there is bad events, probably 6 or 7 of each. And some of them will be minor. Some of them will be significant events. So if I've got something such as a catastrophic breakdown of a machine where it is completely, I don't know, say it caught fire and the insurance premium refused to pay out because of some technicality. These things do happen. We've basically lost like 150,000 euros on our farm. What do we do? Well, yeah, okay, so if I've got an event that could potentially cost us 150,000 euros, there will be an event that could potentially give us 150,000 euros. So I did have like a lottery win on this one that I calculated out at being something in the region of 4,000 euros. No, 12,000 euros is a maximum. But if I can have an event that will cost us 150,000, then there'll be an event that can bring us back 150,000 as well. So, you know, maybe I'll have a lottery win that could net us a potential 200,000, and then that would balance out the fact that we could potentially lose a combine that could cost us that. That's the kind of thing I'm not saying those are the exact examples, but that is the kind of thing that I will do for the random events. I don't know what they're going to be yet. I was told that a number of you did say you really, really hated the idea of just like a pretty much any kind of event that doesn't have any impact on the gameplay, because I did suggest that, well, previously I had one where I said that the pressure washer broke down, and that's pretty much just a what is the word I'm looking for? An appearance one. It's kind of like a flavor thing, really. You know, we can have the dirt on the tractors or we can't. It makes no difference to actual gameplay. There's no penalty there whatsoever. And several of you expressed a dislike of that type of thing because it kind of spoils it for you. And that's fair enough. There won't be any positive or negative events that are purely as a flavor thing. Each event will have an impact, and therefore the gameplay will need to be able to cope with it. Also, they're not going to be so significant that it pretty much reverses my gameplay or just ends up making several episodes really dull as ditch water for you all to watch, because that's, you know, that's something that was broken this time around. So we'll be dealing with that as well. So no, I want you to keep going, and I want to go in here, and I want to go to the mill, because we're going to turn that canola into oil. So I've got the flour is still going. And, you know, it's got 9,300 there. And I've got corn in here. I could turn it into pig food. I don't actually have any corn flour option on there, which is something that I would have liked. But I'm going to make canola oil. We'll do the oats first. We'll keep going with the oats. We'll let them keep processing through. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to park the tractor up here. And then I've got one that I can skip to nice and easy because I want to quickly get through the autumn months. I'm just going to check the animals and see how we're doing. Down here we've got the eggs. November is when we want to sell those. I've got 1,000 litres of food left. The greenhouse over here is still producing wheat. If I go and have a look at that one, I've got 680 oats, and sorghum are still producing from here as well, and then we've just got the water in here. So, yes, I know that there was all kinds of things that we wanted to do with the animals and things like that. Something that I would like to know, something that an interesting bit of feedback that I could have from you is, are there any particular animals you'd like to see in a future series? Is it a case of you really don't mind? You are quite happy for me to go with any animals that I want to work with while I do, when I start a new series? Or is there something in particular that you would actually like to see me using? Because I know that some of you have preferences for animals and some of you really don't care. I also have to go and deal with the pigs over here. We have got those, 9. I'll sell them pigs. 4,000 euros. And I'm just going to let the pigs keep going, and then once they've run out of food, we'll just sell off the rest of them. And these eggs can be moved back over to here. Now, I've got 1,900 litres of food left with the chickens. It's pretty much game over for the chickens now, and I'm not sure that that's even going to be enough to see them through the night. I will go and skip the night a minute until October. The rain has started and stopped like 4 times since I went to bed. I did go to bed in like the middle of the day though, so that might explain it. Now, what have we got in the way of chickens and food? We've got 67 litres of food left. So if I just move that pallet of eggs out of the way, this pallet of eggs down here has got 1,376 pieces. The pigs over this way have got no food and their health is on 0. I didn't actually expect it to use it all up. So very quickly, the animals, once they get to health 0, their value is 0 as well. So I've kind of lost out on that. I probably should have sold them all yesterday instead of doing it now. I'm going to sell all of these now. 58 there. Sell. I get 224 for those. And these, I get 90 euros for 12 pigs. So there's all the pigs gone. We've now got 27,920. I do want to just skip the time on a little tiny bit because I would like those eggs there to fill up. But you've got to go until it changes on the hour. So I got a little bit of food here. There, right. It's changed on the hour, but I've run out of food. The chickens are still on 100% health. That means that we've got that full pallet, and there is a little tiny little bit left over as well. And then I'm going to go into here. There we go. And now if I sell these chickens, I get 25 euros for each chicken. So if I go into there, and then there is all the chickens sold. We're now 36,000 euros. I've got beans over there that are nearly ready to sell. We've also got some wheat here that we can sell. I'm going to wait until December. The beans will be quite low in value in December. They drop down considerably by that point, don't they? You have a look there on the right-hand side, the second number down. You can see that number moving quite a bit. That's the oats slowly flowing out. We are running speed here at 240 times speed, so that's trickling out at a steady rate and turning into flour further down. As soon as that has run out, I will turn it over to producing canola oil, and we will also grind out the bit that we've got here, and then once that is done, I can Well, I'm hoping that the canola oil will all process before December, when the price of flour is at its highest. And that's also when we've got the eggs at their highest price as well, which means that we'll get a decent bit of money coming in. So I'm just going to pop that there. I think that's about it, actually. If I go into here... Right, oat flour has now run out. I do have sorghum. I could do the sorghum flour. Could just make a little bit more. So if I activate that one a minute and I deactivate the oats, we've got the barley there. We'll turn that into flour as well. Let's activate that one so that they'll both run. And the corn I can't do anything with because that's pig food only. So we'll keep this going. I'm going to work through the night now on this one because I kind of want to get this done. I'm making a bit of a mess over here as well. As all of the barley and everything, we're getting a little bit of oat and sorghum coming up from the greenhouses. I'm just going to leave those. I'm going to turn on the canola oil now, activate that one, and start getting some pallets of those. So I've got all of this flour, absolutely loads of it now. And I'm pretty sure that some of you will have heard of the expression a buttload. And I've said this for a very long time. It's something that I have actually said quite frequently. What is that then? No, I thought that was a light, maybe. A buttload. And I was always a little bit careful because I wasn't 100% sure. I think I may have mentioned it before. I've known now for a little bit. A buttload is not actually something that is rude. A butt is a type of barrel. It's a particular type of barrel, and it was used a lot in ships. So a butt load is a load of material that is enough to fill a butt, which is a large barrel. And I'm just going to look up and tell you exactly how much a butt load is. Butt load, plural, butt loads, obsolete UK West Country. So it is actually an expression that is peculiar to the West Country, which is the part of the UK where I live. And it is a regional English measure of capacity of a heavy cart, a butt. Now, I thought it was a shipping term, but it's not. A heavy cart, which is a butt, it contains 6 seams, or 48 bushels, which is equivalent to 384 gallons. And that is... well, a butt is a large wooden cask, or a butt is a 2-wheeled cart. And it's a butt load is specifically for West Country, because I don't believe those types of horse and carts were called a butt anywhere else. I genuinely thought that it was to do with the large wooden casks, the butts, and it was a shipping thing, but apparently it's not. I did get that wrong. It does say on the description, obsolete, UK West Country, regional English measure of capacity of a heavy cart, 6 seams, 48 bushels, equivalent to 384 gallons. So, and also a buttload is dated, it's Britain and also used in southern US. I'm just working out how much 384 gallons is. A buttload is specifically 1,453 litres. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A buttload is approximately 1,500 litres. We have all learned something new. I genuinely didn't know that a buttload was to do with a horse and cart. I really did honestly think that the buttload was actually referring to the barrels that were used for shipping and not something to do with a horse and cart. So I've learned something new there as well, and that's actually really, really awesome because it's a regional term from where I live, and this would explain why I've heard it so much. Like, I've heard that all my life, people talking about a buttload, and I wasn't sure. Like, originally I thought that it was something maybe not quite so polite. I found out later on that a butt was a large a large barrel used in shipping, and I made the assumption, and this is where I went wrong. You should never make assumptions. Assumptions are not something that you should do. I made the assumption, therefore, that a buttload was referring to those barrels and those casks. So a load, sometimes a load of butts, or just a buttload being referring to those particular barrels, and kind of like a shipping term. But it seems that that was actually a mistake. It seems that it is a regional term unique to the region that I live in. I mean, a buttload, it did also say that there was another reference to it elsewhere in England and also in the southern US, which was more directly related to referencing those barrels. But the fact that it's actually specifically a horse and cart in the West Country is just awesome. That is absolutely, that has really made my day, that has. I'm genuinely absolutely thrilled with that. That is what that means. I'm genuinely absolutely thrilled with that. That is awesome. Let's load these up. This is about it. I've gone way over time, so you've got an episode here that is like 3 times longer than it would normally have been. But I'm quite happy with that. That's how we're going to finish things up here. This will take 24 Euro pallets on this one. So let's load this one up. Oh, I see. They've changed the config with his trailer. He changed the configuration of how they're laid out so we can fit more on the trailer. I like that. So now instead of 16, I can put 24 on here. That's really cool. I'm just going to take everything. I'm not going to bother like trying to keep it neat and tidy. I'm just going to take the whole lot. I'll unload it in a minute. Oh, there's another one there. I'm actually going to slow the time down now. We're like the middle of the day in December. I'm just going to take everything. We've got these pallets right here. And then I'll go over to the other place and to the mill. Right, if I stop the loading process and then I unload everything down to there and then I reload it like this, we do get a little bit of a mixture of everything. But that's got 20 out of 24 pallets on board now. Stop the loading. I really like that we can have 24 pallets on this. This is really cool. I'm pleased with this. And we'll head on up to the top, and from there we will take what we can get from the mill. There's some pallets of oil that we'll want to get, and then the next time we'll go back and we'll get as much of that flour as we possibly can. We'll run that over and we'll sell that, and that's going to be pretty much it. I just wanted to sell all of the produce for the winter because I wanted to see how much money we could end up with. Because my next step on this, after we'd done all the planting and everything, was to get to work on building another pigsty. It was going to be one that would hold 50 pigs, and that would double up our pig capacity. I felt that we had everything else that we needed in order to be able to keep those pigs, and I still think that we would have been alright doing that. It's mostly how time-consuming everything was becoming because of the way that... because of decisions that I had made in the way that I was playing, which was basically putting artificial restrictions and restraints onto what I was doing. And that was the chief complaint of just about everybody, was that the restrictions that I'd put onto myself were making the gameplay too difficult for me. And so it was choking my own gameplay, and I didn't need to be. Right, we've got 6,000 litres of canola there, and I've got 2,800 litres of canola oil here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump out. I'm going to stand in close to the mill so I can see what it's doing, and I'm going to speed things up just a little bit. I'm not going to get all of the canola oil done now. Actually, if I speed it, we could probably go until, like... No, I'm not going to be able to get another pallet out today. I just jumped it forward enough to be able to get the next full pallet out of there. We won't worry about the last little bit. And if I load that, I got 2 more pallets that I can put on here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the straps off, and then I'm very carefully, hoping, going to put some oil up on here. That maybe didn't work out quite as well as I was hoping. I think we need to put them more towards the front. So what I'll do, actually, is if I take a pallet, the small pallet of eggs, I'm just going to dump that one over there for a minute. And then I'm also going to unload that off to the side. Then I'm going to next go over here, because the trailer doesn't actually pick things up from the back. It only picks things up from the sides. So I'll put those. I'm not even sure if it will pick up ones that are upside down. I think it has an issue identifying them, but I'm not 100% sure. That one... Why are those pallets part empty? Oat, flour. Okay, I don't... Oh! Oh, I know why. Those pallets are part empty. If that's actually really funny. The pallets, look, see, we got 465 litres of wheat in storage because I drove over the storage thing and the pallets started emptying themselves out as we went. Yeah, that was my bad. I didn't realise I was that was just a really stupid mistake. Right, I've got those loaded up there, and you can see I haven't actually got the two pallets that are left. They have not loaded, but that's probably because of the way they're sat. So if I move that one there, and then I move that one there, one of them should load up, I'm hoping. I'll jump back in and we'll try this again. Hoping that the two down on that side will also... Why won't you pick up those two pallets? What's wrong with those two pallets? Okay, that's weird. It's not picking it up from there. This one is not going to pick up because this one is a now surplus to requirement. It's an extra pallet. So I'm going to just kind of like pop that one in. I'm hoping that I can... There we go. Right, that one's in straight in there. And then I've got the few eggs here, the little bit left over. And I'm going to bring that one over, and I'm going to put this one up on this side. And I can do this there. Drop that one to excellent. There we go. Right, cooking on gas now. And I just... load and unload, take the straps off, put them back on again. So I've now got a full load. We'll run this over to the shop. We will sell this lot, and then we'll come back, we'll grab the flour, we'll sell that lot, and then we can see how much money we've got at the end of it. So all of this, I mean, not the canola. The canola was actually something that would have stayed there and been for making pig food, but the pigs would have been an ongoing source of 4,000 euros a month, which is actually a really good source of income. That would have been a nice bit of money coming in. So I'm quite happy with sort of just taking this as a little bit of a sale that we get from doing that instead of getting the money that we would have got from the pigs. I'm getting an idea of how successful we've been. That's essentially what I'm trying to do at the moment. So I'm just going to bring you in here. It's not actually selling the wheat or the soybeans. Why isn't it selling those? Do I need to take... maybe I need to take a strap. Oh, no, it won't, because... And the eggs, it's not going to take the eggs, because the... it does a weird thing where it kind of blocks. So we've got 21,000 from sold products there. I got to come in here, and these items get sold in here. There we go. So that lot is all being sold there, and then the eggs, I have to take them back round the other side. Right, there's that lot. That's sold. It's another 6 grand from those. And then I can take these eggs back through this side. And just sell them now. There we go. The eggs are actually worth a bit of money. I'm thinking that eggs could be a good thing to at least do a little bit of in the next series. But that's the one thing I do want to hear from you is what animals you would like to see. Well, actually, not just animals. What crops would you like to see as well? Is there anything you'd like to see in a realistic series? Animals, crops, anything, you name it. Get in the comment section and tell me the kinds of things that you would like to see in a new realistic series. Right, come bouncing back in here, making all the traffic stop, and I'm going to load up a load of this flour. We've got a buttload of flour here, we really have. Look at it. There we go. That is fantastic. And then if I inch forward a little bit, get a bit more, it's actually not going to let me load one more pallet. Seriously, one more pallet. Go forward a little bit and see if I can get all 24 loaded up. There we go, that's better. Right, so I've got 24 pallets of flour here, and then there's another, just about 24 pallets there as well. That's excellent. Right, so we've got 2 rounds of flour here. Most of the flour that I've got here is actually... Oh, I see. I'm wondering if this is an unrealistic option. There was 2 options. He's got 2 settings on this trailer now for how many pallets you can take, and I'm wondering if this has changed to a different configuration with the last update that happened on this trailer. It could have done. Let me go in there. Attention, tip side left, open AI worker menu, enable auto. It doesn't actually say on there. It just says Euro pallet 24. Let me go into the shop. So it's trailers in here, and these trailers are like way down this end. There, it's that one. So you got the SEK 802 pallet auto loader. That is the one. Got configuration there. You got auto load for pallets extreme, and you got auto load for pallets normal. So I don't know which one we've got. He's got 2 options now. You can buy the extreme or the normal. I got a feeling this might be the extreme version rather than the normal version. But that's something that we will find out in the new series, because I love this trailer. This is one of my favorite trailers in the game, and so I will definitely be using this trailer in the future. That one trailer load there gave us 17,000 euros, almost 18,000 euros, which is fantastic. And yeah, we are 717 on there. 739 actually is the full price that we've got, which is pretty good. So we're on 84,000. If we've got much the same as that again for our next run. Yes, I did go and sell all the chickens and all the pigs, so technically we could bring that down a bit. But I think that we could say with the pigs, the money that we would have been getting from the pigs at 4 grand per month, plus additional eggs that we'd be able to sell through the rest of the winter, by the time we got to spring, we would be sitting on 100,000 euros, which is a nice amount of money. We'd have been able to buy the second lot of pigs, and we'd have been able to expand that slightly, and also maybe do a few little upgrades for money. But as you know, as most of you know by this point, 100,000 euros in this game does not go very far. So if I'm doing an event and that ends up getting me 100,000 euros, it's not actually as much as you'd think. Like, it really isn't. And I don't have another 20 odd pallets. I've got 19 pallets. Let's get that last one there. There we go. 19 more pallets, but so that's not going to be 17,000. I don't know if we're quite going to make the 100,000 mark with this or not. I'm really hoping that we will. This is it. There's our farm. I'm just going to give you a last little view of the farm down through there. That is absolutely fantastic. We've done a lot of work here, and don't get me wrong, although we're moving on and there's lessons to be learned here, I'm pleased with what we accomplished. I mean, we've removed a whole load of trees. We've got a brand new field over there that we made. There's this field here that we made with the fence that we put all around it and started working on the hedgerows. We've got the pigs, the chickens, the pig pen there with the sheds, extra sheds over on our farm, with a greenhouse, and also the outdoor garden there, the granary that we've got. Like, we have done a huge amount of work here. There's a lot of things that we've done, a lot of things that we've built up. And I'm really pleased with it. I do feel that we've made some decent progress. I also do understand the frustration of many of you watching, where I was constantly struggling to make ends meet, struggling to get cash for the next step. And for me personally, I think the biggest frustration I've had is I like to play with organic farming. I don't like using chemicals on the land. I don't like it at all. I don't like using artificial fertilizers. I don't like using herbicide. So for the realistic series that I'm going to do, I'm going to stick with that. But I'm thinking about ways that I might be able to sort of get round having to plant hundreds and hundreds of acres of oilseed radish. So we've got 98,121 euros from that. I want to leave this series with 100,000 on the clock. I want to be able to leave with 100,000 on the clock. We do have that tractor that we bought for... Actually, that's a rented tractor, isn't it? So that doesn't count. Let's go and have a look in here. What have we got here that we really, really don't need? There's the chainsaw. All right. Sell the chainsaw. There's 550 coming in straight away. There's that front weight that I keep telling you I'm going to use eventually. We'll sell that one for a minute, and that one can go. And then we've got the front loader tools here. It's the log fork. That one can go. Yep. The pallet fork, we kind of need the pallet fork. That's kind of like a thing that we have to have. Animals have just got that one. Trailers, I've just got the 2 trailers. The seed drill, the planter. But I mean, I guess really the fertilizer spreader is the only one that I could potentially do without completely. Or maybe the header trailer. The header trailer is just enough. And we don't need that header trailer on our farm, do we? It's nice to have, but we don't need it. So I'm going to sell that one. Combine is just going to leave the header on the ground now, which gives us 100,000. We now have 100,000 euros in the bank. And I did say that I wanted this series to go on until I was able to buy a €1 million farmhouse, and I possibly would have struggled to do that with the way things were going, even with a time-lapse series. Although I think I'd have had a better chance with the time-lapse series, because it would have been over, I would have been able to do a lot more. But this isn't a time-lapse series, and I don't want it to be either. This is this series. This is what we've been doing. So apologies to those who didn't want me to finish. I do feel that maybe it is time to move on, and we're going to try a whole new approach to the realistic end of the week for my videos. And I'm really hoping that you like the new ideas that I've got. Like I said, get in the comment section and tell me things that you might want to see in a new series on a new farm. Any particular animals, any particular crops, is there any brands of machinery, anything. If there's anything you particularly want to see, let me know. Now is the time, because I will see these comments before the new series starts. And that's kind of why it's important. But anyway, that is all we have got time for. So if you've enjoyed this episode, or if you've enjoyed this entire series, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.